Jorge Castillo from the Times reporting Dodgers and future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols are in agreement on a major league deal for the remainder of the season per source. I know, John, you've been over there on your phone as well.
Yeah.
I think I interrupted you. Was this what you were working on?
Well, we're working on it now, and give Jorge Castillo credit on this one. Very interesting. Pujols obviously gets to stay in the area. Was in Anaheim or Los Angeles of Anaheim, or whatever they're calling it. So very interesting. The Dodgers have the highest payroll in baseball, but here they get an all-time great on a bargain. So it should be interesting. Obviously, they got a great team, a great roster. They can afford a roster spot for a part-time, all-time great. So very interesting move by the Dodgers.
Joel Sherman also confirming the news as well. Wow. By the way, Dave, National League team. So no DH. So
yes,
he's going to have to be in the field to play, or Dave Roberts use him as a pinch hitter.
I'm not quite sure where he plays. Max Muncy's over at first base. He's having a very, very good year. He hits left-handers very well. Yep. So it's not like a lefty-righty platoon type of situation. My guess is that they had discussions with Albert and said, listen, you're not going to play a lot. We're going to use you off the bench as a pinch hitter, I would imagine. But I don't see him getting regular playing time in that lineup.
But they can move Muncy around as well. Muncy's played second base, a little bit of third too. So, but I'm with you.
Yeah,
Muncy is having a great
it's
year.
kind of an intriguing thing to see how he's going to actually benefit that ball club.
How much of this, John? All right, John, I'm going to go back here.
Yeah.
You keep going.
It's confirmed.
That's why he's the best man on
It
Twitter.
is confirmed.
He never stops.
He is going to the Dodgers.
Okay, this is
Not that I ever doubted Jorge Castillo.
No, but this is what I was telling you guys. See, but how much of this do you think is the Dodgers saying, one, it's not going to cost them a ton, but, hey, you're in the area. People are still going to come to the park to see, Albert Pujols do his thing. And, by the way, they're trying to continue to make the pitch to their fans. This back-to-back thing is real.
This is a team that draws like almost nobody else. They've had the best attendance many years in recent years. So I don't think it's about interest or attendance. They want to win. You saw what Bauer recently said. It might light a fire on him to see a guy who's an all-time great, who has the burning desire to win, certainly doesn't have the skill that he did have at one time. I don't think there's any question about that. He may pitch in and win a few games. It's not an obvious choice without the DH. Muncy's outstanding. But you know what? Pujols has won multiple rings. He wants another ring. So, sure, why not? We'd heard yesterday from Robert Murray that there were 3 or 4 teams interested. If one of them's the Dodgers, why not go there? You got your best chance at another ring with the Dodgers. I don't think he was going to get a full-time job anywhere at this point.
This is, by the way, you mentioned Trevor Bauer. This is the quote that Trevor Bauer laid out after the Dodgers had dropped. They were in a run. They lost 15 to 20. I freaking hate losing. That's why I came here. We're not playing up to our capability. I'm mad. I'm not going to speak for anybody else. You can say it's early and there's no need to panic. And it's all true. At the end of the day, we're not just going to roll out the bats and balls and win baseball games. And Bauer kept rolling here. We're not going to sleepwalk our way to winning the division and winning the World Series. Again, that's not how it works. You got to go out there and beat somebody every day. We haven't been good at it, and we need to get better. So that was at the end of a little bit of a losing streak. They've won 3 in a row here since then. So I don't know. Maybe it fired them up. Maybe some of the guys who were there last year said, "Easy, young man. We've been here before. We got this, but we appreciate the enthusiasm."
I think the biggest shock to this announcement is that he's going to the National League. I know he started in the National League, and during his stint in the National League, he became one of the greatest right-handed hitters of all time. That's clear-cut, no questions asked about that. But it's interesting to read that quote from Trevor Bauer about winning and losing. Albert hasn't won in a long time.
Yep.
Since he has joined the Angels, that team has just kind of floundered around, and you can't wonder but think, maybe I want to be on that, taste that winning one more time before he hangs them up.
Well, and also, too, look, it was you can make arguments on both sides in terms of whether the Angels needed him, whether they did the right thing, but how it was handled and how it was perceived overall, it just wasn't a good look, for the organization.
Yeah, there was certainly a lot of complaints
by
the former players, and I heard from some current players who weren't happy to see it go down that way. I'm not sure if there's a good way to do it. He's an all-time great player. It was a very difficult situation. They obviously have a great young first baseman. They have a lot of DH candidates, whether it be Ohtani or Upton.
Sure.
It wasn't a fit. This is a little better fit. At least he can DH some of the time when they play the American League team. And, I think Dave's right. I think he wants to win, and this is the best opportunity to win. Forget their record. This team is fantastic. Sure. We all know it. I know I was on MLB Now, and we talked about, are we concerned, panicking, or doomed with the Dodgers? I voted none of the above.
Right.
There's no reason for concern. This is a fantastic team.
Yeah, and I'm talking more big picture, that as sour as that was, and Albert has some culpability in it as well, because he refused to say at the beginning of the year that this was going to be his final year, so kind of put the Angels in a little bit of a difficult predicament here. But at least now it gets to end better. Like, we get to see him. This is not the end of his career, the way that happened. Now he goes to another team, and whatever happens, happens. But at least, like, it soothes it a little bit better to see him go out. Gives him an opportunity to end his career on his terms.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was going to get a job somewhere, even though his stats look bad. He's still Albert Pujols. He can still pop one out. He should be able to be a part-time player for somebody. I know some teams looked at him as, I don't think so. I think he might be near the end. But, the Dodgers are right there. They saw something, and he'll have a limited role, obviously, barring injuries to others. But, another ring, I can certainly see why he chose the Dodgers. I know he had a couple of choices, and certainly could see him picking them because, frankly, despite the record, they have the best chance to win it all this year of any of the teams.